Apparently, a performer was groped on stage as she was performing in Rio de Janeiro, and unfortunately, American media was making light of it. Now, that sounds a little unusual, except when you get into the details about this story, you'll realize it's not unusual at all. Katy Perry was in Rio de Janeiro, and she invited a female fan up on the stage to be with her as she performed. And as she was performing, unfortunately, the woman went a little too far in her enthusiasm for Katy Perry. Now, the Daily Beast wrote about this. Emily Shear, to be specific, wrote about this situation, and I want to give you the details of what happened. So a young woman, reportedly named Rayane, was invited on stage and proceeded to very much invade Perry's space, kissing and touching the fireworks singer all over her luminous-caped body several times, including her breasts. Now, after that happened, apparently the American press decided to have fun with this story. Let me give you some examples of the headlines. One headline read, Katy Perry was kissed by a girl and she did not like it. And another said, Katy Perry kissed by a girl at concert, did not seem to like it. Now, interestingly enough, this story didn't really blow up in America. Like, I didn't really see much coverage of this. And when you think about it, if a male fan went up on stage and did the same things that this female fan did, A, no one in the media would be joking around about it, and it would be a huge story. It would blow up. But for some reason, if a female gropes another female, it's totally okay.
Yeah, there's a double standard there, and I think that's probably okay.
That's insane. I don't think that that's okay.
But, I mean, we have a double standard. It's okay. I mean...
Okay, why, though?
I mean,
Based
it's okay,
on what?
It's okay to have a double standard. I can't believe it. I know this. They just did this story on Pop Trigger. But I was around when they were meeting about it, and unfortunately, I'm going to show my 48-year-old this, and I don't remember any of the artists. But some hip-hop star called a fan up on stage and groped her.
Yes.
Right, and ran his hands all over her.
Touched her breasts.
Touched her breasts and kind of ran down her leg, and
yep.
you know,
and that was wrong as well.
Yeah, that was wrong. And then we had the opposite happen with where Rayane simulated sex on a guy, like threw him down, and then she was astride him.
Astride him.
Yeah, I know, talking like my mom.
So why is the double standard okay?
Well, that was an astride. Because it's different. It's different for the guy.
No, it's not. No,
of course it's different, Anna. Of course it's different.
I disagree. First of all, if I'm up on stage, let's say TYT's doing an event. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. If I am not consenting to you touching my breasts. I'm not consenting to you touching me at all.
Right.
Okay, so I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I don't believe in that double standard. Assault is assault, right? And I think that saying that that double standard is okay sends a really, really terrible message.
I don't think it sends a bad message.
I think it sends a terrible message.
Assault is assault. I get it. And they're both, I suppose, wrong. But if you're asked, Katy Perry is incredibly sexual in her act and called a girl up on stage and she invaded her personal space. I'm not getting worked up about it at all.
Wow.
Don't call her up on stage anymore. Don't call fans up on stage.
Oh my
Drunk
God.
people at a concert are unreliable.
Ben, come on.
No, you come on.
You're blaming Katy Perry.
I'm not blaming Katy Perry. I don't, like, what do you want done? She get arrested, that girl?
Look, it really depends on what Katy Perry wants. And it seems like she took it in stride. She didn't take it too seriously. And if that's the way that Katy Perry wants to handle it, that's fine, okay? But I'm not okay with the double standard and the way men are portrayed in the media if they do this versus the way women are portrayed in the media if they do this. Again, unwanted physical contact is unwanted physical contact regardless of whether it's a man or a woman.
I suppose, but
so if I were in Katy Perry's situation, would I press charges? Fuck yeah, I would press charges. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Don't get up on stage and start grabbing my boobs and grabbing my ass and making me feel uncomfortable like that. Hell no.
Here's what, I get it. You're probably right. I have what I'm tired of and what I hope comes across here. I refuse to be outraged by this. I'm done with it. There's 50 million things that literally happened today that matter. And I know, believe me, that's not what you're saying in any way. This is just a story that we picked, and it's a totally talkable story, and I get it. But I mean, like, Katy Perry's fine, and Katy Perry can hang with herself. And when I go to a Bruce Springsteen concert, and he calls up on stage, and some women reach for him inappropriately, he's pretty good at warding them off, right? But I mean, you're going to call them up on stage, this is some of the dumb things that's going to happen. I don't think it reflects well on any fan who does it. It doesn't reflect well on this fan. But, I mean, I cannot find any outrage in it. I can't. And I would not arrest this girl. I would yell at her and tell her, Don't the fan, not
Okay.
Katy Perry.
So if a guy was invited on the stage and he started groping her like this, what would your reaction be? Would it be different?
Different,
I
because
think
it's more of a
that's
threat.
wrong.
Of course it's
Okay.
more of a threat.
How is it more of a threat?
He's bigger and he's a guy and he's, I mean, I get it. And here, I mean, by the way, now you're off the hook on this one. The men's rights people are all going to come after me.
Well, they've come after me on almost everything, so.
But I
they're
mean,
not my
because
fans.
I get it. Sexual assault can happen the other way, and when it does, it should be prosecuted. But we're not talking about sexual assault. We're talking about drunk people at a rock concert being idiots.
You don't think that this is sexual assault? Okay, so we just disagree on what it is. I think this is sexual assault.
Sexual assault is so freaking serious
Yeah,
that
it
you're
is.
asking that this fall under the penumbra of sexual assault. I think that just minimizes every time that when I watched the Invisible War and the Hunting Ground about the rape in the military and the rape on college campuses, those are serious problems. This isn't.
I think it's unwanted sexual contact, okay?
Yes, it's unwanted sexual contact. It is.
Yeah, which is sexual assault. So we disagree on that. I would have a huge problem with this, and people are applauding.
Should that
Katy
woman
Perry.
have to register as a sex offender?
No, but I have issues with the sex offender registry. That's a completely different story. But I think that it's dangerous when situations like this come up and people just flat out give women a pass because you're a woman and it's okay for you to do this, right?
I'd give her a pass. I'm not saying
if it was a dude, you better believe that he would be prosecuted for this. He would. It's plain and simple. And it would not be joked about. It would be very serious. We would talk about it on the Young Turks. We would condemn the guy. And I refuse to talk about this woman and pretend like what she did was harmless.
I'm not even sure what side you're supposed to be on here if you're a feminist. I can't even figure it out.
Who cares what side you're supposed to be on? What's the truth? What do you actually feel?
Don't do that when you go up on stage.
I
Don't
agree,
do that.
I agree.
That's it. That's as
Yeah.
far as I'll go. Don't do that if you go up on stage.
Okay.
But don't bring fans up on stage. Like, don't bring fans up on stage. You're on stage. Do your performance. The fans were in the audience. Hey, we cheer. The stage. We keep it different. Keep it different. 99%. We're the 99%. We're in the crowd. They're the 1%. They shouldn't be mingling with us.